Thanks for joining us for the Fox 61 News at 10. I'm Brent Harden. A domestic violence call in Meriden turns deadly and ends with an officer firing their weapon. Police say one person is dead and the suspect is in the hospital tonight. Fox 61's Priscilla Meza has the latest.
Police remained on scene into the evening here on Sagamore Road, where investigators have been working for hours after a violent morning that ended in tragedy. Meriden police say it all started just before 10 a.m. on Sunday when they got multiple 911 calls about a domestic violence incident involving a weapon. When officers arrived, they say they saw a man repeatedly striking a victim in the head with a baseball bat. The victim suffered severe injuries and was pronounced dead at the scene. During that encounter, police say an officer fired their weapon, hitting the suspect. They did not provide additional details as to what led up to the shooting. The suspect was taken to the hospital, and the officer was also evaluated and has since been released. A few neighbors we spoke with say they're shocked this happened, as it's always been a quiet area.
Well, I did not hear anything. Actually, my husband did. He was outside watching because he heard the shooting. And he went up there and he says, "Oh my gosh, something happened."
She says she was informed by police about what happened after she returned from church service. Police have not released the names of anyone involved, as this remains an active and ongoing investigation. The Connecticut Office of Inspector General has taken over the police shooting element of the case while the state police is investigating the homicide. We'll continue to follow any new developments and bring you updates as soon as they become available. In Meriden, Priscilla Meza, Fox 61.
New Haven police are investigating an early morning shooting that left a 21-year-old man injured. Police say the victim arrived at Yale New Haven Hospital's St. Raphael campus by private vehicle around 5 o'clock this morning. He told investigators he was standing outside his vehicle near Valley and Emerson Streets. When a car drove by, he heard a pop and then realized he had been shot. His injury is not considered life-threatening. Anyone with information on this shooting is asked to contact New Haven police. And West Hartford police are investigating an e-bike crash on Woodlawn Street. Police say an adult woman crashed the e-bike and was taken to a hospital for treatment. Roads in the area of Woodlawn Street and New Britain Avenue are still closed for the investigation. No other details have been released. A motorcyclist has suffered life-threatening injuries in a crash on I-91 North in North Haven. State police say the single vehicle crash happened near exit 12 around 7:20 tonight. The highway is closed between exits 12 and 13 while police investigate, and drivers are being urged to use an alternate route. And a three-vehicle crash on I-91 North in Windsor left at least one person with life-threatening injuries this morning. State police say the crash happened near exit 38 around 3:40 a.m. The highway was closed between exits 37 and 38 while the collision analysts and reconstruction team investigated. All lanes have since reopened.
We felt like we could breathe outside again today. Not only good air quality, but lower humidity, and the sun was out after a pretty wild Saturday night with showers, thunderstorms. Some parts of the state ended up picking up 4 inches or more of rainfall. That was in southern Connecticut. And we have another chance for thunderstorms on Tuesday. So right out of the gate, this is not tomorrow. Tomorrow looks really lovely, but Tuesday afternoon and evening, if you have outdoor plans, already start thinking about a plan B, as I think kind of the bare minimum is the threat for some downpours and some thunderstorms, but there also is a chance that some of those storms could be strong or severe, so we'll be watching that closely. And in the towns that had a lot of rain on Saturday night, there could be some isolated poor drainage issues. So keep up to date on the forecast. Right now, temperatures are in the 60s to right around 70. Again, it is a beautiful night ahead. The air quality is good, so you can breathe deeply, and overnight lows will be in the 50s. So good sleeping weather tonight. And tomorrow is another beauty with temperatures headed up near 80 degrees and lots of sunshine and good air quality continuing. But we'll talk about the return of thunderstorms coming up. Brent.
All right, Rachel, thank you. Hartford police are investigating a shooting that left a man critically injured early Saturday morning. Police say the victim was dropped off at a hospital by a private vehicle just before 6:30 a.m. with multiple gunshot wounds. Police have not yet determined exactly where that shooting happened, and major crimes detectives are working to identify the scene. No other details have been released. And Waterbury police say a traffic stop led to the arrest of a man accused of carrying hundreds of bags of heroin. along with fentanyl and weapons. Officers arrested 28-year-old Eddie Vega Rivera Wednesday for driving a vehicle with the wrong license plate. Police say they were patrolling the area near Lounsbury Street following multiple complaints about trespassing and drug dealing. Vega Rivera now faces several charges. People gathered in Vernon over the weekend to remember a young mother killed in a domestic violence case 3 years ago. Family members and advocates held a vigil outside Vernon City Hall in honor of 22-year-old Anastasia Paul, sharing memories and calling for changes to the system. Paul was killed in 2023 by the father of her child. She was pregnant with her second child at the time, just months after celebrating her son's first birthday. Her family says she sought help before her death, including applying for restraining orders, but encountered barriers.
Abdul and Boob went to prison for domestic violence abuse against my sister and then got released and went to kill her. No automatic protective order, no monitoring, no updates. It feels like it's an endless cycle of us women not being protected.
The man responsible has pleaded guilty to murder and is expected to be sentenced later this month. But Paul's family says their fight is not over. They are pushing for a law in her name that would strengthen protections for domestic violence victims. The family is also inviting the public to attend the sentencing hearing on July 28th. Well, Governor Ned Lamont, Lieutenant Governor Susan Bysiewicz, and Secretary of the State Stephanie Thomas will hold a news conference Monday on election security. They are expected to address recent claims from President Trump about U.S. elections and discuss the safeguards in place here in Connecticut. State officials will talk about efforts to protect voters, ballots, and election workers. The news conference is set for 12:30 p.m. at the Old State House in Hartford. New Haven officials will celebrate the completion of a new solar panel array built on top of the city's landfill tomorrow. More than 1,900 panels have been installed, repurposing land that could not otherwise be developed. The array is expected to produce more than 1.4 kilowatt hours of electricity each year, enough to power more than 200 homes. The energy will feed directly into the United Illuminating grid and be distributed to local homes and businesses. The project is also expected to generate $1.5 million in lease revenue for the city over the next 20 years. Well, Connecticut is sending 6 wildland firefighters to Quebec to help battle Canadian wildfires. The crew left from Marlborough Friday and will join firefighters from Maine and New Hampshire. This is Connecticut's second wildfire deployment of the season. Another crew is currently assisting with the fire in Oregon. State officials say the Quebec mission is part of a regional mutual aid agreement and comes as Canadian wildfires continue to affect air quality across Connecticut. We have an update tonight on the cyclosporiasis outbreak, with thousands of cases now confirmed or under investigation. Taylor Fresh Foods is recalling iceberg lettuce sourced from central Mexico after the CDC linked some cases to lettuce served at Taco Bell restaurants. The lettuce was distributed in 27 states between June 29th and July 16th. The company says no other products are affected. The CDC is also urging customers in 5 states not to eat lettuce at Taco Bell. A full list of recalled products is available on the FDA's website. New developments tonight in the Middle East as tensions increase between the U.S. and Iran. Iranian strikes in Jordan killed 2 U.S. service members and left another missing. Their names have not yet been released. Jen Sullivan reports on growing fears the conflict could spiral further.
The U.S. military launching a new wave of strikes on Iran. These latest attacks come after 2 U.S. service members were killed Friday in Jordan following Iranian strikes. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth posting on X saying, "Godspeed heroes, their sacrifice only stiffens our resolve." There's now a greater concern violence between the U.S. and Iran will further escalate.
I think there will also be a little more severe retribution attacks for the killing of American troops.
The U.S. and Israeli forces first launched strikes on Iran on February 28th. Since then, there have been multiple efforts by the U.S. and Iran to negotiate a peace deal, but so far nothing permanent has been finalized. And some worry the Trump administration may consider sending troops to Iran to de-escalate any further violence.
That's a bad option because it's expensive and no one wants boots on the ground, and it just doesn't kind of add up for the American public.
There's also economic concerns. If the U.S. and Iran exchange more strikes, maritime traffic through the Strait of Hormuz could severely slow once again, likely driving up oil and gas prices.
We're at a little under 14 million barrels a day from the Arabian Gulf region. That's 2/3 of pre-conflict traffic, dramatically up from where we were back in March.
As of Sunday, oil and gas prices were going up again. And if oil operators are too worried to travel through this key waterway due to safety concerns, those prices could go up even further. I'm Jen Sullivan reporting.
And amid the escalating conflict, the State Department is urging Americans traveling overseas to use increased caution. The new warning applies especially to those traveling in the Middle East. The State Department last issued a similar advisory in March.